Continuing with sumifs, countifs, averages, file 1. We're looking at question number 10, use of sum along with one of these items, that is either the sumifs or the countifs actually, and brackets. So let's look at the question and we'll see how these things play into this, what role they play. Hawaii and Florida are implementing new regulations on the sale of printer ink. Compute the total order amount and count of orders of printer ink to these two states. So we'd like to do more than just one state, okay, as well as the printer ink. Alright, so here we go. We'll build this in F82 here. Okay, the total amount, that's going to be a sum, isn't it? So, or sumifs. So let me start out with the sumifs. Okay, sum range. Let's go and pull up the FX here. That's going to be, of course, the the dollar amount. Okay, starts an N. Hold down the shift key, select N, and then down arrow. Okay, so that's all that. And we want to pick up the states. Again, we could do this in a different order, but in terms of the criteria anyway. Okay, hold down the shift key, and an up. I need to back off one. So still holding down the shift key, hit the down arrow once. Okay, and again that matches up in terms of the 5 to 1838 in both cases. Alright, now the criteria, Hawaii and Florida. Okay, so I'm just going to put Hawaii in first, and what we're going to end up adding in this. Okay, and I know we got another state, but we're going to come back and fix that. Criteria 2 is for the product. That's in column M. M5, hold down the shift key, and down. Okay, and that is, put in the quotes, printer ink. Alright, we know it matches up since we got a result there. Alright, so there's our initial starting place. We're going to edit this actually. Okay, alright, so there's our initial setup. We also need to add Florida in, so let's go back here and look at this. Now, you might think, well, can we put in Florida as well? Well, the result's 741. Let me put a comma in here. And Florida. Notice it's not giving us a result. So to have in a criteria, if we want to have more than one item, we have to put it in brackets. I'll put brackets around this. Okay, so now we are getting a result. Now, does that look familiar? Yes, that was the result for just Hawaii. Okay, so we're going to do one more thing to get to pick up both Hawaii and Florida. So click on OK. And I'm going to go back up here to the formula bar, and we're going to edit this, type in sum, parenthesis, and then at the end. Okay, so that should give us the correct result. Right, so it went from 741 to 1579, and we can do some checking to make sure it's correct. I've done that outside of this video to make sure it's correct. Couple of things to note here. This will only work for the setup is for one item. Okay, so we couldn't. If we tried to do this also for printer ink, we would the result either would not be accurate. In other words, so we can only do this with one item, one criteria range item. All right, and let's do the number of orders. So equals count ifs, and we're doing the state, holding down the shift key and down. Alright, and we're just going to go ahead and type it in this time, similar to what we got with the other one. I'm going to put a bracket in, quotes, and that was Hawaii. If I spell that right, hopefully. Double quote there, comma, then double quote Florida. Close that, bracket. Okay, and then we're doing the product. Okay, hold down the shift, end, and then up, and let's move it down one again. This needs to match up. So L5 to 1838, M5 to 1838, comma, and double quote, printer ink, and close it. Okay. Alright, now we're still going to have to add the sum, but let's go ahead and make sure that this works before we keep going here. Okay, so right now it's saying 3, but that's only actually for Hawaii. It, for some reason, won't pick up both unless we use a sum here with it. So go back up to the formula bar, type in sum, parenthesis, jump to the end, put in another parenthesis, and so now we're showing 8 orders. Okay. Alright, so that's the 2 examples of one with the sumif and one with the countif, of selecting multiple items for a single criteria. You got to use the sum along with it though, otherwise it just picks up the first one.